Welcome to the next part of our series, Fractions to the Core. Okay, so you've implemented a task. What's next? Well, your end goal is to have students present their own work, and use that presentation of work to make some key mathematical points and connections, so that students walk away from this lesson having learned and gained some mathematical knowledge. In the context of comparing and ordering fractions, one of the key mathematical ideas you want students to understand is that sequencing denominators from least to greatest is not an effective strategy for sequencing fractions from least to greatest. Perhaps a group of students had this misconception, but corrected it. In connecting, they talk about how they realized it was incorrect and what the correct concept was. Students who had the correct concept outright will talk about how they dealt with it and what it means. Students will explain about why their way of thinking was correct or incorrect, and some of the pitfalls of their thinking. You can also use a connecting phase to show students how to move from concrete to more abstract representations. In the case of comparing and ordering fractions, you might start with a group who relied heavily on fraction bars, move to a group who drew their own fraction bars, then move to a group that just immediately dove into the number line and is able to talk about it. In that way, you're not just moving from concrete to abstract, but you're also helping students who think more concretely see more of the abstract thinking that's going on in the classroom. One of the key ideas about connecting is that you want to know ahead of time what a student's answer or strategy is before you call them to the board. You want to avoid calling a student up and having them think through a problem right there in the moment. Instead, make sure that when you call students up to share their work, you're well aware of what their strategies are and what they're likely to say about those strategies ahead of time. This goes back to the monitoring phase. You want to make sure that you've asked enough questions and talked to enough students to know that you have a variety of responses and that you understand or have an idea of what a student might say if you were to call them to the board. Visit our website for more resources on teaching fractions for conceptual understanding.